What if sanctuary wasn't just a place, but a way of living? Welcome to the Sanctuary Network, your weekly home for conversations that awaken the heart, heal the body, and inspire the spirit. I'm your host, Mary Ellen Popyk, the creator of Spirit Fest and the Natural Wellness Expos. For 2 decades, I've been creating spaces, now creating a bold new broadcast for mind, body, and spirit, where seekers, healers, and teachers come together to share wisdom, laughter, and transformation. We've seen what happens when communities gather. People become enlivened. Now, through the Sanctuary Network, that same spirit is reaching you, wherever you are in the world. Each week, we'll sit down with thought leaders, authors, and everyday visionaries. We'll also shine a light on the grassroots voices of the sanctuary marketplace, the healers, vendors, and practitioners who make this movement thrive. This isn't just another show, it's your sanctuary, a space to pause, reflect, and reconnect with what matters most. So, take a deep breath, open your heart, and join me. Together, let's step into the sanctuary. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our show. I really am grateful for everyone who is tuning in. This is going to be shown live Christmas Eve. So I imagine some of you might catch it that night, but many of you will catch it in replay afterwards. So know if you are watching us Christmas Eve, we are not live. This was pre-recorded, and we wish the happiest of holidays to everyone. It's the last day of Hanukkah today that we're filming it. We're going into the Christmas season. And there's just a lot of love and light going around right now. So without further ado, I'll introduce our very special guest, Bonita Shear. Bonita is a dynamo, and you are such an inspiration to me. And I'm so pleased that you're with us. So Bonita has 2 great passions, Young Living Oils and Kundalini Yoga. And it makes her a dynamo, and she has so much information. So she is my connection for Young Living Oils. So I believe you're my upline, as a matter of fact. But she was actually mentored by Gary Young. Those of you who are familiar with the Young Living Oil brand, which is, I believe, some of the highest frequency oils that are around. So she traveled extensively learning and growing her healing practice. She's a certified reflexologist, and she actually traveled to Egypt to be part of a documentary on frankincense oil, which we're going to talk about here in just a minute. So she actually went on a caravan bringing the holy oils to the city of Petra in Jordan. She is also a Kundalini yoga teacher, studying under some very auspicious training in Rochester. This far back as 97, I think. And I just can't wait to get into all of the information that she's got to share with us today. But first, Bonita suggested that we use the same oil so that we're on the same frequency. So talk to me a little bit about that. I love this idea.
Well, I'm all about the power of intention. As Gary has mentored so many people throughout his life, and Wayne Dyer, the power of intention. So people would get wound up about, oh, I have to have this oil, like Bonita did. Oh, in the beginning, I had to have everyone in the book. But the truth of the matter is, if you take one oil and put your focus, your third eye, and your energy into that oil, right? That will just accelerate that your intention.
Right.
So by taking the top off,
here.
And again, you just want to bring it up slowly because they're very, very powerful, and they do change consciousness. You say, I can't. Say, I can, right? So, sacred frankincense is very high in something called scatroterpenes, that's why it's mentioned so many times in the Bible, right? So you just take your dominant hand and just through a couple of drops.
So my dominant hand is my right hand. So I want to put it in my dominant hand.
You want to take the right hand, put it in your left hand. I'm sorry.
Okay.
A little dyslexic. Not too bad. And then you circle it because it's all about frequency, right? Circle 4 times. Now you just cup it over your nose, right? Full breath in, exhale. Don't forget to smile. Breathe in again. Nice, deep, deep breathing. Full breath in. Hold it just for a second. And then exhale again. Now breathe in one more time. Hold it and exhale.
I
Now
love it.
tell me, from the time we started, did you just feel a shift,
Oh,
Marielle?
yes.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
shift, right?
Yes.
Well, that's what it's all about. It's
Right.
all about our consciousness, our thoughts, our words. We're creating a reality all the time.
Right.
Be in heaven, or do you want to be in hell?
Right. Which, oh, that's a whole nother discussion. We'll get
I
into
know,
another
right?
time. Here we are, right before Christmas, and we talked about the about connecting with that ancient wisdom, but frankincense and myrrh were just two of the oils mentioned in the Bible. There's many. And I also want to make a disclaimer. This show is not a commercial for Young Living Oils. This is a really serious tool to be able to use to connect with the higher frequencies. Dr. Wayne Dyer talked about how much he loved rose oil because it is the highest frequency. Is there any that are higher than rose?
Not that I am aware of, and that's why
Mhm.
I always say, be be aware. Choose your oils uh, carefully,
Mm-hmm.
and just take a minute in the morning. Like I take a minute. I just don't put a bunch of oils on. You won't
Mm-hmm.
know if you're coming or going.
Mm-hmm.
You be aware each day. Your frequency is different every day.
Right.
Like,
Right.
hello, I got a lot of sleep last night, so
Right.
I'm right.
Right.
So, being that I was very aware this morning, Gary had a protocol using valor, joy, white
Mm-hmm.
angelica, right,
Mm-hmm.
and harmony, which
Mm-hmm.
also balances the chakras. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what he called a daily protocol for having the best day ever. And
So would he just put them in his hands just like we just did, or would he apply
again,
them to different places?
you just take your time, center yourself, and say, okay, where should I put that joy oil today?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I am
Mm-hmm.
very careful because I am 80 and right here is very sensitive because I've been in the sun. So I just go down a little bit further,
Mm-hmm.
on
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the middle.
Uh-huh.
And I take it just inhale and then harmony again,
Mm-hmm.
center. I do center, right?
Mm-hmm.
Valor, I just put on the back of my neck.
I
Valor,
love Valor. That's
valor
also called chiropractor in a bottle. They found that kind of an unexpected side effect was that it helps straighten skeletal concerns, which I thought was amazing. So love Valor.
Valor is for courage, and Valor is one of Gary's original oils.
It's for
Um,
self-confidence, right?
right, for confidence. When I
Hmm.
very first went to Toronto to hear Gary speak, I was part of over 1,000 healers from all over the world. I
Hmm.
had no clue. One minute I was not well, the next 2 weeks later I'm in Toronto listening to him. No clue
Hmm.
about science or chemistry.
Hmm.
And I'm listening to what he's talking about. And then the next day we did hands-on raindrop technique.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you, I was very nervous. I was like, what am I doing here? Why am I doing this?
Hmm.
But you talk about divine purpose, where you're going, where you're headed, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
When I saw the veil put on this woman who had been in an accident,
Hmm.
I was like, what is happening? I just watched their spine realign.
Yep.
And it was like, am I seeing? You start to say, am I really seeing this? Right.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, I've witnessed a lot. I've
Hmm.
witnessed a lot.
We actually used to have a physical location, a store. Our slogan was more than a store, more than a meeting place, but it was called the Sanctuary for Mind, Body, and Spirit. And we had a lot of readers and healers and practitioners that would come in and do work. And this was my introduction to Young Living, a woman who was very well versed, and she was doing amazing work. Like you, a true healer who has studied and it also really has a gift to be able to connect that frequency to the healing work that you're doing. But she had an auricular probe, which was a glass wand, and actually was able to help someone restore their hearing to a certain degree. So no claims or anything, but I witnessed it with my own eyes. So you just can't really dispute that. And there's a lot of things that other countries will allow with some of the protocols with Young Living that they don't allow in the United States, unfortunately. So other countries do recognize the medical benefits of working with this, but the frequencies that are in it have been tested. So that was one of the reasons that he was a pioneer, was because he tested the oils.
Right.
Can you speak a little bit more about some of the testing that he did?
Oh, I don't know exactly because again, I
Hmm.
I'm not a chemist. I don't know
Hmm.
exactly the. I mean, the credentials are unbelievable.
Hmm.
Every step of the way, which I loved his tenacity, I loved his drive. And
Hmm.
right now, all over the world for the next this month and next month, we're using the oil of Believe. And
Hmm.
Mary shared the story because every step of the way, Gary kept being put down and
Yes.
stopped and stopped and stopped. And finally, he said he had it. He was done. He was not continuing because he kept getting shut down, right?
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so Spirit came through, which I call your higher self, Spirit, came through to him and said, go to the mountains. We're
Hmm.
going to give you a formula.
Hmm.
And the formula was believe.
Wow. Okay.
And for you to continue because you're here for a divine purpose. So we're going to give you this formula, right?
Wow. Yes.
So again, he came back with this formula and he started using it,
Hmm.
and it propelled him to keep going. So because he did have to have the science, the documentation, uh,
Right.
dot the I's, cross the T's, because you know everybody keeps coming down on you. Way back in the day when one of the Osmond brothers was healed,
Hmm.
Gary had a clinic out in Salt Lake City, which I had visited. I had been to
Wow.
his clinic out there.
Uh-huh.
But when I saw that one of the Osmonds were he was receiving this amazing healing,
Hmm.
I said, "Wow, that'll be the end of that."
Do
And
you know
then
what his condition was that he had?
oh, he had everything. He was on
Uh,
so many meds. The man was on so many meds.
right.
He had been we keep getting prescribed many different kinds of medication, high blood
Hmm.
pressure. I forgot all his issues,
Hmm.
but he was raving about the clinic and how they got him off all meds. He went through detoxing and all of that stuff.
Hmm.
But within not even 5 weeks, they came in and closed down the clinic.
Yeah. I'm not surprised, sadly.
But guess what? This is why I love the man, right? He goes
Right.
to Ecuador.
Yep.
He goes
Yes.
to Ecuador.
Yep.
Because of that transition, he
Hmm.
was freed up. He now
Hmm.
can open up more,
Hmm.
discover more plants.
Hmm.
And when you start to really pay attention to the frequency of these oils, there is something different about the oils from Ecuador. No
I
doubt.
and I and I wish that I knew now the oils from Ecuador or the work that he's doing in Ecuador.
No, there's oils that are harvested
Oh, yeah.
and are grown right in Ecuador. I don't know them right off the top of my head. I'm not going to
Okay.
claim that I do.
Yeah.
But I kept saying, what is with this oil? Like
Right.
some of them, right? I'm like,
Hmm.
this one is way different. I find
Hmm.
the oregano from
Hmm.
Ecuador
Hmm.
stronger. And
Hmm.
let's think about it. It's got to be the way the pathways, the
Yep.
chemicals, the
Altitude,
purity of the
sure. Hmm.
soil.
Hmm.
All of these things have to come into play, which he knew.
Hmm.
He knew
Hmm.
how all these things
Right.
happen, right?
Right.
And that's when he started building the
It's,
clinic.
so my recollection of the testing that he did, but it's been a long time since I first got into it, but I got into it because I was witnessing what I was with the work that the healer was doing using specifically on living oils. But he was actually testing, so he had um uh, you know uh he would test something innate and then what the energy was and then apply the oil to it. And then I believe that he was doing similar to some of the things the other scientists are doing. Sometimes your thoughts play into it too, or different conditions. But it reminded me of the Power versus Force. I'm not sure if you've heard of that book, but
Yeah.
about the frequency of different emotions, how empathy or sympathy is not even the highest emotion, that there's other ones that are higher than that, which is love, by the way. So he actually documented the work that he did. So that's why he was a pioneer in that, as well as his intuition,
Yeah.
and then traveling to find the greatest sources for those. But Wayne Dyer, we talked about with that rose, he was such a high vibrant, vibrational person. He was using the rose to help center him, help him to stay in that vibration. But like you said, it's not something I think you would want to use it wisely. It's not something you would want to just automatically put on at the beginning of the day. I would be more apt to use it when I was going to bed, just before I would meditate. or something. No. Oh, tell me why. What do you
I
think?
did that when I was like so excited. I got my rose oil, yay! Right? I couldn't wait to open it up. I was up
Uh-huh.
the entire night, not
Really?
a
Oh
wink
no.
of sleep. Right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So this is what I'm saying, like, well, because I'm a Kundalini yoga person. Again, high
Uh-huh.
frequency.
Right.
Rita loves everything high frequency, but then
Right.
I have to be careful of that, right?
Uh-huh.
You reach a high, well, of course, then you're going to go low.
Right.
You go high, you go low. So
Right.
the Kundalini, thank God for the Kundalini yoga teachers in
Uh-huh.
my life because they always emphasize you want to stay middle ground. You
Right.
don't because it's just part of quantum physics. You fly
Yes.
high, you fly low. Well, that's
Yes.
what was happening to me until I
Yeah.
realized what I was doing, right?
My, I think, aha moment was when I heard it was Edgar Mitchell, the astronaut, was talking. He founded the Institute of Noetic Sciences, and
Mhm.
he was talking about subtle energy work. And I don't know that I had actually heard the term before, but I thought subtle. I was like, oh, because what I'm doing is anything but subtle. I'm like, I'm here, yeah, bring it on. And that is, yeah, that is a very good thing that we want to stay in the middle.
Well, I
Um,
had to be very aware because in my class, in my Kundalini yoga class, I didn't allow the oils
mm,
because I'm very aware of people's emotions and what they're going through. And is again, Kundalini yoga is a very powerful yoga. So
mhm,
I never combined the oils ever
mhm, mhm.
with Kundalini yoga. It just
Okay.
didn't feel right to me
Mhm.
because you have to be aware of people's sensitivity.
Right.
Everybody's coming from a different place, a different frequency. So,
Right.
but creating that sacred space like I do daily in this house,
Mhm.
in my own home. I'm
Mhm.
aware of that energy, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
But watching Gary just over the years, and every time I had an opportunity, I'm serious, Mary Ellen. At the time, I didn't have the financial, the resources to keep
Mhm.
traveling. But
Mhm.
you know what? As soon as I put that out there, oh, he's going to go to Cancun. I'm there. Oh, going
Mhm.
to the mountains of Salt Lake City. Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
there's another charge. Oh, yeah, there's another one. Oh, I can use that one.
Right.
I didn't let the fear stop me. And I hear this with so many people. Oh, I don't have the resources. I don't have the money. It's a very big irritant to me.
Mhm.
Why? Because you know why? That's just an excuse.
Right.
I did max out a lot of cards and I got to the point where my phone never stopped ringing. And I thought, I think I'm in trouble now.
Aw.
But guess what? That's when my Young Living business kept growing. And I wasn't really it was about the healing. But
Mhm.
all of a sudden I started receiving checks.
Mhm.
I swear to you, when I received that first check, I'm get so emotional. I'm like,
Mhm.
they're paying me to talk.
Mhm.
I never shut up.
Mhm.
Why not? To me, it was like I started at a retreat center in Skaneateles, New York, run by
Mhm.
the Franciscans.
Mhm.
And they said, Bonita, come and teach. Just come and teach.
Mhm.
And that's what I did every week, every week, every week with my little suitcase.
Mhm.
And the one night I was ready to quit. I'm cold, I'm wet, I'm tired, I don't want to do this.
Mhm.
Nobody's listening. Go up the stairs, and the room was filled with people.
Mhm. Oh, that's
But
great.
now, testimonials.
Yes.
People are starting to hear
Yes.
about these whales. But
Yeah.
that's what it takes. That's what
Right.
it takes.
Yeah, and like we talk about is getting actually to see it, and you've got a firsthand. And I know that the essential oil companies got a little bit of flack from the FDA because there was a lot of stuff online where maybe people really weren't documenting things or just saying things that maybe they couldn't back up. But there is genuine bona fide evidence on the oils and how they work and the different things that they work for. And like just like any other supplement, not one isn't for everybody. Like you said, you find the frequency that works for you. And that's something that I've really observed with some of the healers that do Spirit Fest. And I know that I've talked about Spirit Fest, but that the Spirit Fest and the Natural Wellness Expos are the two shows that we produce now, sort of taking the sanctuary on the road, so to speak. But often they have their best results with the healing work that they do when they find people that are the same frequency as them. And that might be what the person is looking for, is someone with their same frequency, like attracts like, so to speak. So do you recall what oils are in the belief that you spoke about before that's so good?
I do not know, but I have to share something that just happened 2 weeks
Mhm.
ago.
Mhm.
Uh, this is why I'm saying I teach on Monday nights at 6 o'clock, a Zoom call, right?
Mhm.
And we always start with one oil so that we can all be again on the
Mhm.
frequency. So I
Mhm.
use believe. And I sat down to start the meeting and I opened the bottle and immediately I heard, don't put it on.
Mhm.
I closed the top. I said, girls, you use the oil. I'm not doing it.
Mhm.
But that, you do
Mhm.
what you feel right. I just felt
Mhm.
this is not the right thing to do. So I
Mhm.
stopped that night and I love playing around. I play. I don't get all wound up on with quantum physics.
Mhm.
At 4 o'clock in the morning, my father came to me,
Mhm. Mhm.
and he's been dead a very long time.
Right.
It was so vivid and so clear that
Mhm.
it blew me completely out of the water. 4 o'clock, and I realized it was a portal of energy coming into the planet. I did
Mhm.
my research after. I
Mhm.
had gone to bed with a little worry in my mind about my car, and my dad was in my face saying, excuse me, you get your son Kevin to take care of this now. Tell him that
Mhm.
grandpa said so. And I'm like, okay, dad. And I had this conversation telepathically
Mhm.
with my father
Mhm.
because we synergy wise, we ended up in the same, like I want to say space, vibration.
Mhm. Yeah,
Daddy,
it makes sense. I would call that a visitation where
yes,
you were in the same space. And then it
right.
seems like a dream because if, sometimes our brains just can't handle the, knowing. So,
At
but yeah,
four,
I think you visited with him.
right.
That's
But
beautiful.
it just, I was finished for the entire day. I cried the entire day. It was
Wow.
like, what has happened to me?
Mm-hmm.
But when I say the power of the oils,
Mm-hmm.
because that worry was in my mind, because my son was just because he's very, very busy. He
Mm-hmm.
said, Mom, there's a little guy you go to, blah, 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 and he'll take care of the car for you, blah, whatever. He was passing me off, quite frankly. He wanted to see the Bills game. But I have a brand new puppy that is the energized bunny 24/7, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I don't have time to go to the little man and the whatever.
Right.
And when he heard that I said, Grandpa told you to do this, he said,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm on it. But it was that timing. And that's why I'm saying I
Yes.
don't know what's in the Believe oil, but a mutual friend just said, I use that oil, Bonita. It blew me out of the water. I
Uh,
don't know.
I just pulled it up here and I don't know that I have it. So I'm because I have an auto ship too that we get every month and then you get points and then you get free stuff. So I'm actually gonna order that. But it's Idaho grand fir,
Mhm.
coriander, bergamot, frankincense, Idaho blue spruce, ylang ylang, and geranium. So I also, while we were talking, pulled up the list of the essential oil frequencies and I learned something that I did not know. There
Okay.
is one oil that is a higher frequency than rose
What is it?
is the Idaho blue spruce, which is in the Believe. So
Oh,
that is a very high frequency oil. But the combination, the synergistic effect of them together is what's important. And that is what is so great about the work that he did. But
oh,
something else that you keep touching on that's a really good tool for the toolbox about igniting our consciousness is that intuition. And I don't know that people rely on it enough. You call it women's intuition because I don't know that men sort of utilize it in the same way, but you just know it's that knowing. It's just maybe that little tug or an actual message that you hear in your head, whether it sounds like your own voice or not. So it sounds like that's something you rely on a lot.
I've learned boy from way back when to listen to that when I moved to Skaneateles. I
Mhm.
literally was at a retreat and very tired, and I heard a voice say, "Move here, you will be taken care of." And I'm like, I'm looking around like, who's talking to me? I don't even know who's talking to me, right? And then I
Mhm.
stopped and I said,
Mhm.
oh, I know who's talking to me. And from
Mhm.
that point on, I've never stopped listening.
Mhm.
I just said, okay, even with this puppy, when I was told,
Yes.
you're
So
going
where
to,
is she? Is she with a neighbor?
oh, she's gone to doggy daycare with my
Oh,
dear, dear
oh,
friend, Denisha. She's an animal communicator. She's fabulous.
oh. Uh-huh. I
Yeah,
have a corgi who
I know.
normally we record at night. So during the day, I can tell he's a little bit more active scanning the cars that are going up and down the road. Anything with like that, those air brakes, he's sure it's going to be a delivery, hopefully of dog food. So we may hear him. But that's another gift too. That's, when you were intuited that it was time to get your puppy, you know that it's
It was
okay.
hysterical because I was at an all-day retreat with beautiful, like-minded people, and I'm sitting there listening to the speaker, meditating, and I hear very clearly, "Get up and go to the falls. We have a surprise for you." And I'm like, "Oh, it's going to be water. It's going to be." I think because it's gorgeous, healing falls water. I
Mhm.
thought that.
Yes.
Oh, so I brought my mug. Oh, I'm going to get healing water. Thank you. And
Hmm.
I get up, and the facilitator looked at me, said, "Go do what you need to do."
Uh-huh.
I just left the group because I was
Wow.
told I was going to get a surprise.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
behind me are two Shelties, a
Oh,
stable and a try
uh-huh.
barking. And I'm like, just started laughing out loud. I said, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Again? I'm to do
Uh-huh.
this again?"
Uh-huh.
And I was told a long time ago, Bonita, you're going to live a very long life. You have a lot of work to do.
Hmm.
So I first like, is this going to make me younger or older? Because this has been challenging. I
Hmm.
got to tell you, I have to get up and do yoga before she wakes up. I am on it. I feel
Yes.
like, yeah, Private Benjamin. I really do. She's the director right now of
Hmm.
me. Oh no, you can't go to the watch Netflix at the end of the couch and have a glass of wine. So you have to put your shoes on and go for a walk.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So
Oh,
she is the catalyst to keep me young. But listening to spirit can take you down roads you never thought you could.
literally. Yes.
Literally.
Yep. Just following that intuition. That's
Yeah.
that's really great. What falls were you at?
It's out in Casanova. Uh,
Okay.
Actually, with Sheila Applegate.
Oh, okay.
With
Yeah.
Sheila, it was a day
Uh-huh.
with Zach and Sheila, a renewal day. But I
Yes.
don't remember. It was a beautiful falls that just opened up recently.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
will give
Sheila
you.
Applegate's a great healer in central New York.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah. And for those of you that aren't familiar with Central New York, Skinny Atlas is one of the Finger Lakes and a very beautiful place. And I grew up in the town one over, so just a 10-minute drive quick. And it is literally just heaven on earth. There's something so special about Skinny Atlas and that lake. And I've had 11 generations of my family live there, which I didn't even realize till I had left. So
Oh,
I feel very connected to it as well. But my understanding, and this was channeled information, but it came from Kevin Ryerson, who Shirley MacLaine writes about in her book. That was somebody that she went to. And he told me that there are things that exist in upstate New York that was pre-ice age. So even though the big shelf of ice came across, many of the landscape was changed and things like that, but there's a lot of stuff that is still there that was before. And
oh,
and he said if you would really look, but it's hard with all the different types of rock in the trees, but we would find ancient structures that are still there from pre 10,000 years old. So I do believe that there's some very magical energy there. So on that note, we've got about a minute till we go to break here. So when we come back from the break, we're going to talk a little bit more about your work with Kundalini Yoga and more of the tools that you've used to just live such a dynamic and exciting life and to be able to share your energy. So anyway, everybody join us in a few minutes. Welcome, everybody, back to our show with the lovely, informational, and very inspiring Bonita Shear, who is talking about ways to ignite our consciousness. So, Kundalini Yoga is you're a teacher. Could you tell us how you got started doing that and how that impacted your life?
it's actually quite a funny story. Actually, I was married at the time, living in Rochester, New York. And my ex-husband has said to me, he said, "Look, why don't we start taking yoga classes? I've heard about a home that's in central Rochester that's devoted to yoga."
Mm,
So we signed up. We were on a 6 week, class thing, and the woman was boring. It was boring. It was boring yoga, and I'm like, "This is boring." But I
mhm,
kept seeing this man come in with this turban and long beard, and they would all the people would go upstairs,
Hmm.
and then I heard all the chanting going on. So I said to him, I said, "Hey, let's go upstairs. This woman's boring. I want to go upstairs because I love the chanting, you know."
Hmm. Hmm.
And lo and behold, he goes, "No, no, no, no. You signed up for this. You stick with it." And that's not Bonita. I don't. I have to go where I feel like this is exciting, right?
Right.
So he got sick one night, and bam, I went upstairs. Took my very first class from Subag Singh, and I got to tell you that what happened to me was like someone took my finger and stuck it in a socket. I did not sleep for the next 24 hours, very similar to to the essential oils, which you're
Hmm.
aware of, right? The frequency, again, because of the chanting, the way you position your body, all of it, right, was
Hmm.
so powerful that it just threw me for a loop. It threw
Hmm.
me for a loop. From that time on, I started following. His name was Subha. He was a dentist slash Kundalini yoga teacher. And I just started following, taking all his classes. But I kept getting the gentle nudge,
Hmm.
become a teacher. And I kept saying,
Hmm.
no, I don't want to. I'm dyslexic. Don't you know I'm dyslexic? I can't do that. No, I'm
Oh.
not doing it.
Oh.
Bam. Oh, no, you're going to become a teacher. No, I'm not. I kept saying no. 10 years, Mary Ellen. I said, no, I'm not doing it. I don't like mung beans. I eat a lot of mung beans. I drink wine. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And I am not doing Kundalini yoga. Hysterically funny. Then I finally got a big nudge because the big honcho teacher from 3HO happened to be coming to
Hmm.
Rochester, New York to do a teacher certification.
Oh, wow.
And I got that extra shove. You are doing this. Stop the excuses. And
Hmm.
I jumped in. And from that point on, I never looked back. I just kept taking more certifications with Guru Mook. Um,
Hmm.
then breath walking. Breath walking is awesome.
Hmm.
Another tool, right?
What is that?
Breath walking to me was brilliant because Yogi Bhajan came up with this with two other gentlemen. It's teaching mantra with walking, and you do
Oh.
mantra, and you open up when you do. This is called finger magic.
Hmm.
You open up the meridians of your body, right?
Yep.
And
And
you
making
start
a
doing,
circuit when you're doing it. Yes.
and then you start doing breathing.
Hmm.
And you get in sync with your walking.
Wow.
Now, I started taking groups out.
Hmm.
Uh, I, I just love this because I started teaching more at Stella Maris. You take these groups out, you're silent for 10 minutes, then
Hmm.
you all get in sync with your breathing,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And your mantra.
Hmm.
And then 10 minutes of that, then you come back and people start communicating.
Hmm.
Why? You're in higher consciousness. You're not
Yes.
sitting around a table
Right.
complaining and whining, drinking coffee and eating donuts.
Hmm.
You're out in nature.
Hmm.
You're in sync again. All your vibration is up, right? And it was brilliant. Then people started sharing, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful way. Because not everybody's into yoga, right?
Right.
Most people will walk.
You brought up an interesting point is a lot of people think that the spiritual development or our spiritual, education is a solitary thing, and it's not. Sometimes it is, but it's really a good thing to be able to practice with other people and
Yes.
to be able to experience that vibration. We're here for a reason, and I believe that we stood in line to be on Earth at this time.
Yeah.
That this is just such an incredibly interesting time right now,
Yeah.
and that the people that are here want to make a difference.
Mhm.
And by raising our vibration and being an example for other and holding that vibration, I think is so important to us right now. So, do
Yeah.
you currently teach?
No, I do. Well, I teach on Monday night, the group I have with essential oils, with the
Hmm.
Young Living, uh,
Okay.
a little bit, you know, because it's just natural for me. It's just natural. I have my own practice. But as
Hmm.
far as, no, I just don't have that desire at this time to be that teacher. I do it
Well,
anyways.
You touched on your teaching and you have your group. Where can people find you? We're going to mention that again before the end of the show as well, so people can catch that. Do you have a website?
Through social media, website. If you want more information, our Monday night calls are awesome because
Hmm.
we're all of like-mindedness. We share. It's not just about oils. It's about sharing information because we all come from a different walk of life.
Hmm.
When you bring what, three or four more people together,
Hmm.
people share their
Yes.
experiences. Oh, I
Yeah.
use this, I did that. Simple tools, right?
Right.
To
Right.
live a healthier and happier life. I
And
mean,
that's practical application. So that those are really helpful when you know what's worked for other people.
right.
So your website's bonitaiam.com, which I thought was really clever. And then Bonita Shear on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Shear's Shear.
Correct.
And then we mentioned Sheila Applegate for anybody who's up in central New York. Her website is consciouslyawesome.com. So another great resource for people up there. And I hesitate to tell too many people about Skinny Atlas because it's already becoming a kind of a new secret and everybody's in town. So especially this time of year. Is that why you went back to Virginia or was it the weather?
Oh, it was the weather. It was the
Yeah.
weather.
Yeah.
I remember distinctly coming out of Wegmans when the snow was blowing at my granddaughter and
Uh-huh.
it's dripping in my face. I said, I am done.
Yeah.
I'm done with the snow, the wind whipping in my face. And I have to share, my granddaughter in Richmond said, yeah. They all call me Yaya.
Uh-huh.
It's time for you to be with your family in Richmond, don't you think? And I said, have fun and pull my tarot cards. We do tarot. I have
Uh-huh.
fun with my grandkids.
Hmm.
And we did. And I said, Ron, this says I'm moving to Virginia. And I seriously did that. I went back to Skaneateles, started up the stairs, getting rid of things. It's time to
Hmm.
gear down, get rid of, and move.
Hmm.
It's time.
Hmm. Right.
Yeah, you have to know when things are complete. But my heart is always Skaneateles.
Same. That's just where my roots are. And then I had actually bought a house up there because I'm in Orlando where the housing prices are just through the roof. But I had intended to do half a season there and half a season here. And then with the business and the shows and everything, it really just became difficult. But part of the challenge was the winters. I could not just leave the house. I needed somebody to look after it on a regular basis, and that was more than I really felt comfortable asking my friends to do. So I let it go for now, but we're going to revisit that. And that's a thing about when you manifest things as well, too. If you really want to manifest thing, it doesn't always mean it's the right time. But you're going to get it in a way that is best for you when you go in the flow with source. And it ended up being, there was some benefits to having had the experience and now I've got more contacts and people like you that I met when I was there. And now I'm going back and forth a little bit more often, just not living there yet.
Right.
So, so we'll see. So let's revisit the oils again for a few minutes. What are are there any really unusual oils that you would recommend or that you use to enhance your spiritual practice that other people may not have thought of?
Okay, I'd love to share this one because one was when we came back from Egypt. And I want to share something. I put it
Hmm.
right next to me. You see this beautiful gold book,
Wow,
right?
it's beautiful.
I
Uh-huh.
was walking out of Barnes and Noble in Rochester one day and I grabbed this book. It just so intrigued me, right?
Uh-huh.
The next year is when Gary announced we were going to Egypt.
Wow.
And I was like, when I heard it, I actually called my upline to say, what is going on? I didn't receive your email. She said, don't talk to me. We're going to Egypt. I said, what do you mean we're going to Egypt? Who's going to Egypt? She said, oh, yeah, Gary has done a surprise trip. He's taking 50 people to Egypt.
Uh-huh.
And I said, no, 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 I want to come. I'm coming. I'm coming. And she said, no, you're not. You're not high enough in the company. You
Mhm.
can't, you have to be gold or above, right?
Mhm.
And I wasn't. And I said, no, I'm coming. And she said, no, you're not. The next morning, I hear very clear, you're going to Egypt, call again. I called. She said, you're not going to believe this. Gary just opened it up to everyone. If you
Wow.
want to come, you can come. And
Wow.
it just so happened that I had that money to go on that trip, right?
Wow. Hmm.
So when I got all wound up, I'm like, oh, I know nothing about Egypt, and my family was not too thrilled that I was doing this, right? I heard, go upstairs, you have the book. You
What
have
is it called? We can't see the title.
can't see. It's just called. It's all about Egyptology.
Wow, it's
It's
a
all about.
beautiful book.
It's gorgeous, gorgeous book. And
Wow.
what I did is I took pictures and I put
Hmm.
them in there. You know,
Hmm.
when you travel with Gary, your life just watching the men come out of the caves to greet him
Wow.
because he had been there so many times.
Hmm.
His passport, he had to keep extending the passport because he just
Wow.
kept going, right?
Uh-huh.
But they all knew him.
Hmm.
Everybody knew him.
Hmm.
And learning from that man and watching how he operated
Hmm.
was so profound,
Hmm.
was so special, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. The Egyptian gold, when we came back, every time I used it, I would be on when I have your list, you're going out the door
Hmm.
to do your list, right?
Right.
I would use, oh, Egyptian gold, let's put that on, let's have fun.
Hmm.
My day would go completely the opposite.
How is that different than, or what is Egyptian gold?
Egyptian gold is another combination of that was one of Gary's original formulas. What's
Okay.
in it, I don't know, but it's
Okay.
again high frequency,
Hmm.
right? There you are, you're very efficient.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Uh, but I finally called my dear, dear, dear friend, the great Nandini, I called her. I said,
Uh-huh.
Nandini, because she went on this trip and Gary specifically said she could not come because she
Hmm.
was too old.
Oh. Uh-huh.
She just had a hip replacement and a knee replacement. She said, excuse me, I ain't coming on that trip. And
Hmm.
no one's going to stop me. No one dared mess with this woman.
Hmm.
Trust me, she was a tough cookie. Even Gary backed down. He said, okay, but you have to keep up. She said, I'm doing all my exercises to keep up.
Hmm. Hmm.
God bless her. She said, I'm having the exact same experience as you are. You put this on and you think you're supposed to be one place, right?
Hmm.
The next thing you know, things start to change because think about it. It's your reality. Your waking dream is going to change.
Hmm.
That's why I say really pay attention to what you're doing when you use
Right.
emails, right? Like the
Right.
believe, what happened to me with my dad, right? And
Right.
the Egyptian gold. Like I don't use that all the time. I
Hmm.
use that sparingly.
Okay. I'm
Sparingly.
trying to find here exactly what's in it. Where is
Okay.
it? Use it sparingly.
Yeah.
So because we still need to live our lives. We don't want to live in the ethers all of the time.
Right.
Yeah, when we're looking for direction
Right.
and yeah, but you use it in the morning. That's what you were saying?
I would, and I would depend on my day. Like today, I'm on. I'm on today, right? Yesterday, you didn't
Yes.
want to talk to me. Thank God for my granddaughter Ava. She said, "Yeah, yeah, I'm coming to take." Her name is Little Bit to the park, and I
Mhm.
said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you," because I was just whipped. She's nonstop.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I would not use that oil, right? And I
Mhm.
would be aware of what I go over to the oils and I look at them and I say,
Mhm.
hmm. I have certain ones, that are therapeutic, that keep me healthy,
Mhm.
oregano, emu power, thieves. These are your everyday. But then the ones where you want to reach a little bit further and have some fun.
Right. Right. So I there's quite a few things in there. Frankincense, balsam candida, needle oil, lavender, which is a great high frequency and multi-purpose oil. Myrrh, which we talked about, is again something that they would have used in biblical times. Hyssop, Northern Lights Black Spruce. These are really interesting because these are some really high vibration and then some also really grounding oils too. Cedarwood, vetiver, rose, and cinnamon. So
Oh, no
that's on my list.
wonder.
I'm just
No
making my new
wonder.
auto ship list right here.
Right. No, no wonder, right? No
Yeah,
wonder that's why things start to happen. That's why I'm like, if you want to get the list done, then you
right.
better just be careful, right? But if
But
you
that's a thing too. You be careful what you wish for. And that's it. We need to be open to receiving and opening, to get it because it might come. Especially right now, the energies I feel like in this planet are higher and quicker than they've ever been. And I feel like we can manifest things almost instantly now.
you can,
Yeah, that's amazing. So, when did you start teaching or start doing Kundalini yoga compared to when you started using the oils?
Too well, actually, it was just I got into Kundalini yoga in 1998, right?
Okay.
And 1999 is when I was not feeling well at all.
Hmm. Hmm.
And a friend called me and said, I heard about this woman, this group of women that do something called raindrop therapy. Would you be consider going? And
Hmm.
I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty desperate. I'm pretty desperate. I
Hmm.
will give it a shot. Why not? Right. But
Hmm.
at that time, my vibration was so low. My sister called me. She says, I'm afraid you're going to die
Mm.
because I just kept plummeting. I couldn't stop it. I couldn't
Mm.
stop it. My voice started going. I was exhausted
Hmm.
24/7, blah, blah, blah. That story. And the one raindrop, I could feel my voice come up. And
Wow.
she gave me this little vial of Imu Power. She started putting that on your spine. And
Hmm.
within 2 days, I called her and I said, okay, who's this Gary Young? And what are these oils about? Because
Hmm.
I'll be honest with you, I don't have a big trust. I don't trust very, I'm very skeptical. I don't
Yeah.
trust everybody down the pike.
Yeah.
I want to
Same.
know what are you about? Who are you really? So
Hmm.
to me, go to the head guy. And that was Gary Young. And
Right.
so I go to Toronto.
Hmm.
And at the time I was, oh, you're not going to go there. You can't go. And I'm like, I'm going because I want to know.
Hmm.
Why am I starting to feel better? Well, why? Because they're the life force of a plant. Think
Hmm.
about it. That the blood of an oil mixes with your DNA. They go exactly where they're supposed to go. They have
Yes.
a memory.
Right. And
I
this is the way that the oils are distilled that keeps that vibrational frequency of the plant in them. And that's why a high grade essential oil is so important, right?
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And
That's
some will cross the brain blood barrier,
yes.
which some other meds don't even do.
No,
So in my opinion, they're worth the money that you pay for them.
of course. It's
Yeah.
like,
So
yeah.
you mentioned your age a while back, and I thought I heard it wrong for a second. But what other things with your lifestyle are you doing to account for just how vibrant and how dynamic you are? It's
No,
amazing.
I mean, again, I love research. Uh, I love a lot of the products. We have a product called Ningxia Red, which is high.
Mhm.
It has Chinese wolfberries in it. But I also do my own research,
Right.
juicing. I think I'm big on juicing. But right
Okay.
now, I'll be honest with you, with the puppy, no, that doesn't happen. That
Hmm.
would be that's ridiculous.
Are
I,
you vegan or vegetarian?
I know.
No, me
That's
either.
why with Kundalini Yoga, because someone said, Bonita, you signed a contract. You're supposed to be a vegetarian. I said,
Mm.
I am. I never signed a contract
Uh-huh.
because I'm not a big fan of that either.
Yeah.
I don't like to be boxed in. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
said, not, and I find that fascinating how spirit kind of maneuvered me, really, if you think about it.
Hmm.
You're going to become a teacher, but you're going to do it your way.
Right. Right. Because you know what's best for you. Right.
Right. But also, I'm pretty tuned into other people as well. I have to
Hmm.
say, I
Hmm.
I really respect other people where they're coming from, and be very cautious. Oh,
Hmm.
again, with the oils and Kundalini yoga, because I got to tell you that yoga. Way back in the day, I went with a dear friend for training in Raindrop to Colorado, and I was on the floor doing yoga. She went in the bathroom. She came out. I was flat on the floor. I was gone. I was on the floor crying, couldn't stop. She
Hmm.
said, what happened? I went into the bathroom. I come out. What happened to you? I said, I used one of the oils, put it on the roof of my mouth, called Brain Power,
Hmm.
started doing breath work. It brought back a memory, Mary Ellen, that was so hurtful and so hurt my heart so much that it
Hmm.
knocked me literally to the floor.
Hmm.
And I was a mess the whole day. That's why I know to be respectful of what people can take and what they can't take.
Hmm.
At any time.
Well, when things like that come up, even though they're painful and may not be at the time that we want it to, but then we can clear them once we identify things like that. How did you deal with what happened to you then after that?
Well, it was just a memory that I had stuffed, like we all do. Oh, that was okay. He didn't mean to do that. Oh,
mm,
yeah, he did. Yeah, he
mm,
did.
hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah, he did. He meant to do that. And now that's why I'm so very aware of my who I let into my sacred space and my boundaries, which I had to learn because I was very naive, very naive.
hmm, hmm.
And I had to learn that. No, 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 you can't talk to me in that tone of voice or
Right.
see the door.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are dealing with boundaries more than ever right now as well. I did not realize that Oprah is still recording. And saw something on YouTube and it looked fairly new, but it was about how many of and I believe that it's Gen Z that are now have kids of their own, how many of them are not speaking to their parents or their other family members. And apparently this is a common thing now because the boundaries are just there and they're not willing to put up with some of the old paradigms that their parents raised them with.
Well, you know what? In retrospect, when you really think about it, how else are you going to change people? How else
Right.
are you going to say, "Hey, I'm sorry that I actually had a run-in with my son when I first moved here."
Hmm.
He's a pretty big big shot, and he came in with an attitude, and I said, "You know what? I'm not liking your attitude. What is with you today?" Well, and I said, finally, I said, "Okay, let's just call it a day." Well, no, I goes, "No, it's my time." I said, "There's the door. See ya. Not
Hmm.
at my home. I
Hmm.
don't care. It's not going to happen." So there's the door. And it's never happened again. And I think it's, again, raising the bar of what you're going to take and not take.
Right.
I'm not
Right.
taking that.
It's just a different time too.
Yeah.
Um, I wanted to, before we go to the next break, talk a little bit more about raindrop. Can you explain what raindrop is to the people that are not familiar with it?
Yes. Do you want me to explain now or?
Yes.
Okay. Gary developed this with the Native American medicine. He said, "Well, I now have these beautiful oils. I perfected them. How can we do this for the major population? How can we help people feel better, right?"
Hmm.
Well, the spine, there's 72,000 nerve endings that come off your spine.
Hmm.
And this is the best place where you start, right? But
Hmm.
also your feet. The receptor is your feet. They go right up systemically.
Hmm.
So I have taken many, many, many classes and certifications from Gary Young, Dr. Hill, and each person brings their own way of doing things. But Gary's protocol was spot on because he did this with a Native American
Hmm.
medicine man, right?
Uh-huh. Hmm.
So when you systematically place these oils on a spine and feather them, think about feathering up your back.
Hmm.
How beautiful that sensation is on your skin, right?
Hmm.
And they're the hotter oils like thyme, oregano, valor for balancing, cypress, marjoram, peppermint, all of them systematically in sync, right?
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
go up your spine. And what I've witnessed many, many times is what they do is they start to boost up your immune system
Yes.
depending on the person, if it's what they need at that time. And each person, you've got to really, you after I probably have done 3,000
Wow.
easy raindrop.
Where would people find someone to do raindrop therapy in their area? How would they find
Go
someone?
online. Go
Okay,
online. Yeah,
just
just
search
go.
it.
Yeah, go. Just search. That's the beauty of it, right? Just go
Hmm.
online, Bing, Bing, Bing. Who does raindrop therapy? It'll come up because now
Okay.
finally it's grown and grown and grown. But don't let that stop you. I mean, how many kits? There was a raindrop kit. This is
Hmm.
the part that I try not to get aggravated, but I do. Do it on each other, family members. Like my
Right.
granddaughter's home from college right now. I said, "Sweetheart, would you?" "Oh gosh, yes." Yes. And I said, "You take a little bit to the park, you get raindrop therapy, you
Right.
know?"
Right.
And I don't do it for the public anymore, but I will do it for family members.
Hmm.
Or
Hmm.
if someone calls me and is in dire need, then of course I will. Of course.
Right. Yeah. I would, when my mother was passing away, she wanted me to put oils on her feet. That was what she loved, the oils. And that was what she said she thought just helped her more than anything. And like we talked about the feet, the pores in the feet are very large,
Right.
as well as having those nerve endings, and then they do go up into your system as well. But when I apply the oils, I sometimes put them at the top of my spine or the bottom of my spine for the same reason.
And you put them
I
on there. I right now because of cold and flu season, I do a lot, not 3, 4 times a week. I will put oregano on my feet, these
mhm,
new power. But again, so I've learned to do it on myself, just like you do on your spine, and then I just lay on the floor with a heating mat.
mhm, mhm.
Heat drives me.
That oregano is very underrated. There's even people are taking capsules of it. It's a supplement. And I know that Young Living carries a supplement with oregano in it. Is it? I can't remember what it's called.
It's inner defense.
Inner defense, yeah. But
I can't.
oregano is a very powerful healer.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
And
So on that
again,
note, it is time to go to our next break.
okay.
So join us here in the next 30 minutes and see what else we're going to get into because I know we've got a lot more great stuff to talk about. So join us again. Thank you, everybody. And we're back, everybody. Thank you for joining us again. We're here with the dynamic Bonita Shear, who we're discussing igniting our consciousness. And she has got all kinds of great tips, tricks, and experience, ancient wisdom that she's used to just live the best life and to help others live their best lives as well. So before we forget, we'll talk about it again at the end of the show. Your website's bonitaiam.com. And she is also on social media, Facebook and Instagram. Bonita Shear is Shear. So to get back into what we were talking about earlier, we talked about Dr. Wayne Dyer, who was a big fan of the Young Living essential oils, and he especially loved the rose oil. But could you speak to other things that you use to ignite your consciousness, to lift you up, or that helped you to learn how to, get to those higher levels and be the best person that you could be?
I'm a big fan of chanting. Big fan.
Mm,
Tapping into that ancient wisdom of chanting
hmm
in Sanskrit.
hmm
I, ever since the very first time I heard Sonatam Kar, way back in the day, uh,
hmm
I was like, "Who is this? Who is this beautiful angel and her beautiful music?" And again, and completely enamored with
Say her name again.
Sonatam Kaur,
Okay.
Satam.
Okay.
Kaur.
Okay.
She has actually won many awards for her beautiful, beautiful music and chants.
Okay.
And these are my tools. This is what, to
hmm
keep you in that space. Because let's face it, some of the news, I'm pretty careful. I don't watch traditional television or anything like that. I don't
hmm
want things to bring me down. People try to bring you down all the time.
hmm
Did you hear this? I keep myself filtered. Uh,
Right.
again, because I want to create my reality, not your
hmm
reality, right?
hmm Yes.
So the chanting taps you into that incredible, it's a lineage.
hmm
It's an ancient lineage going
Yes.
way back.
It's
I,
like remembering the future.
I would like to share something that happened in Egypt, if I can, because
Yes.
at the time
hmm
I did not know what was happening, right?
hmm hmm
We were in the temple of Dendera. We had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to these sacred sites because Gary hired an Egyptologist. And all of a sudden I'm standing, I find myself separated from the group. And a small gentleman came right over to me and grabbed my hand. Come, with his, robes and all that. And I did not hesitate at all because his energy was so powerful and so strong.
hmm
And honestly, it reminded me of my dad. And I knew
hmm
to go with him.
hmm
Well, I go down these little pathways, and he kept pushing me up against the wall. Meditate. I did everything he told me to do. He took
hmm
my belongings, put them on the floor, put your hands up. The sun's going to come and hit you at a certain point. And
hmm
I kept doing what he told me to do, right?
hmm
I'm up against a wall 1 minute. I'm on the floor sitting in yoga position so the sun could keep hitting me. And I'm like, about the fourth time, I started to say, what am I doing? I'm going down a path with this strange man.
hmm
Like, please give me a sign. I want a sign now.
Right.
And no sooner got that out, I heard a woman in my group wailing. I never thought I would see these things in my lifetime. I am
Mhm.
so blessed. So I thought, okay, continue with the man.
Mhm.
You're going to
Mhm.
go with him, right? And by the end, I ended up in a room with two other people that are very much of like-mindedness. He had us lay on the floor so we could see things that no one else was seeing. The ceiling, the what we were witnessing and seeing,
Wow.
the
Wow.
beautiful drawings, right?
Mhm.
And then he put his arms around me, said, "You are now been inducted into the Temple of Goddesses. You are
Wow.
now part of this." Now,
Wow.
when I tell you I had no clue what he was even talking about,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
Bonita's got endless enthusiasm, and I wanted other women to go. I said, "Go follow them, go with this man."
Right.
And I finally realized my experience was not theirs.
Uh-huh.
Some people were having horrible experiences. They were
Hmm.
frightened.
Mhm.
It was so sad to get on an elevator, women in our group, to get when an Egyptian man got on, they got hysterical because they were
Interesting.
afraid because of all the, you know, the BS is on TV and all this other. So you have to be frightened of everybody.
I wonder if it was a past life thing too, maybe.
Well, people, I think it's more maybe past life, but the truth is, people have been like my family. You can't go
Mhm.
on this trip; it's too dangerous. You,
Hmm.
if you're traveling with spirit, yeah, you can go.
Yeah,
But
I
be
agree.
aware. I'm not,
Mhm.
I'm aware. Trust me, I'm
Right.
not going to just. But I knew the energy of this man was right.
Mhm.
When I came home, I started receiving other messages from
Mm.
Egypt,
Mhm.
and
Like what?
I said, "Wow."
Mhm.
Because people kept saying, "Bonita, we want you to teach about this." I said, "I can't teach yet. I don't know what the heck happened to me.
Mhm.
I read your
What were what
website
were some of
and
the
said,
other
oh,
information? Was it about you teaching or was it ancient wisdom that
just
they were
ancient wisdom
Wow.
and messages for other people." And I
Wow.
would call someone and say, "Hey, I have a message for you." "Well, who are you talking to?" They think that. I said, "No, it's a telepathic message. You have to go on explaining everything." I said, finally, I
Mhm.
said, "Do you want it or you don't?"
Right.
Period. I'm
Right.
learning to say, "Hey, thank you. I've been receiving these beautiful gifts. Do you want to hear something that might be beneficial for you?" Right?
So that was an activation that you received there in the temple. That's
Exactly.
amazing. Wow.
Exactly.
Wow. So we talked about in the beginning too about going when you were going on a journey where they were moving the oils. Taking it was it to Jordan? Yeah, to Jordan, to the city of Petra on the caravan.
Right. What
Tell us
what was the
about that.
question again? What was it? What did you
Tell us about that.
Oh, well, that's even funnier because we were given an itinerary and we had a meeting with Gary before we were, a call to be on
Hmm.
before this. And he said, "You take these oils, but before you do anything, put the power of intention of what you want for the trip." Now, I
Hmm.
listened to this man carefully. He's a master teacher. And I did everything he said. I got my oils, I got my journal out. And I swear to you, Mary, or I never, ever, Mary Ellen, never called the company or said, "Hey, I want this and this and this and this." I
Hmm.
just wrote it out.
Hmm.
I got the exact right person to room with the whole
Hmm.
time.
Oh, great.
I got all the flights I wanted because we
Hmm.
had to go from place to place on flights.
Hmm.
No questions asked. I never, ever asked anybody for anything
Hmm.
because did what Gary said, right? And other people, not so much. They had all kinds of crazy stuff started to happen. I said, "Didn't you do what Gary said?"
Hmm.
"Oh, I don't have the time for that nonsense."
Hmm.
"Okay, so you have lost luggage?" To this day, I still do it. I
Hmm.
still write out my intention for a trip, right? And if I
Wow.
do have a click, then I know it was supposed to happen, which
It's
is
a
happening.
great tip. Yeah.
Then I know it's supposed to happen. And I don't get wound up about things. Like people get wound up about stuff, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
No, you're supposed to have a layover here.
Hmm.
Don't get so
Yes.
wound up. You're going to meet somebody really cool.
Yeah. That's a great way to look at it.
Well,
Yeah.
once you do that, then you start having fun with it, right?
Hmm.
And then
Hmm.
you amp it up. I say, "Oh, I want first class to
Hmm.
Maui." I
Hmm.
want first class to Maui.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I'm an extrovert, but I'm really also an introvert. And I tend to, when I'm traveling, kind of keep to myself. And I'm trying to be better about that. If I, am eating out, to sit at the bar instead of a table, for there's more opportunity to maybe talk to some new people. And I've had some neat experiences doing that.
Me too.
But, just trying something new is probably a great tip too, to have spirit, you
Right.
know. So that was one of my things when I was able to spend those summers in central New York. If somebody would ask me to do something, I would never say no unless I couldn't, unless I had a prior obligation. And there was a few times where I was just like, this is just but it was really great. I really did have some great experiences, but that was just something that intuition told me to do too, just to try something new. So,
You know what?
um,
It's fun. It's fun
yeah.
to play
Uh-huh.
with and to
Yes.
do these power of intention. And then I say, why not amp it up? I want to go first class. This woman was watching me. She said, you never complained. You never whined. You didn't go to anybody. You just waltzed on that plane and got first class. How did you do that?
Mm-hmm.
I said, you're
Mm-hmm.
watching. She said, yes, I'm watching. And I said, I went to the bar, had a drink, glass of wine, relaxed, and I knew I
Right.
was going to be called first class because I put
That's so inspiring hearing that.
it was,
That's just amazing.
but
When
again, it
did
was
you
fun.
start doing that? How did you know to start doing that?
I took a friend of mine was into Wayne Dyer so much, right? So I asked her for her tapes, and for 1 year, I would go to bed every night listening to him, everything I could find on Wayne Dyer. I
Mm-hmm.
was all about Wayne Dyer.
Mm-hmm.
1 whole year, and then like anything, I stopped. Okay, done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saturated.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's time to put it into action. Play with it,
Yes. Yes.
right? But that's what you can read all the books, you can read them all,
Yes.
but if you don't put it into action, you're going nowhere.
That's exactly what I used to say when we had the store, because we sold quite a few books. Or people buy tapes that I can't remember what the name of it was, but there was a shelf and it had like headphones and you could listen to these books on tape and
Yeah.
people would buy it and they would say they bring it up to the register and say, "Does this work?" I said, "Well, yes, but you actually have to listen to it. You actually have to to,
So it's
people just
truly,
buy it and think, yeah, that they're all set."
people buy the oils, but they never open them up. I don't know how to use them. So I said, what's your fear? You fear you may change? Or you're going to say,
Well, just like expensive candles, you have them and you want to treasure them and things, but yes, they're made to be used. Um, and if you look at how many drops are in a bottle too, that does help to me to justify the cost. Um, and then there's ways of some of them you're going to want to use a carrier oil, that they're a little hot. You might not want to put them directly on the skin. But some of the ones like the rose, I think mixing them with a carrier oil might be a better way to kind of disperse them too. You
right,
might get a little bit more use out of it, but then you would intuit that as well.
right.
If you feel guided to use 10 drops straight up, I think you should do that as well. But so you talked about in the beginning how you just maxed out your cards. You just knew that you should do it. You knew you'd be taken care of.
Did. It was because I wanted to learn from the best. I figure, why not? I want to know things right from the source. That's the way I like to do everything, right? And I didn't know how to do it until these charges come in. And you know how they make you the great offer, right?
Right.
At the time, I had no clue how I was recently divorced. I was married for 36 years.
Hmm.
I'm now divorced. How am I going to make a living? And so I just started talking, right?
Hmm.
I just love these oils. And it started up there, and I kept getting little visions, keep
Hmm.
expanding.
Hmm.
And then when that evening at Stella Maris, when the room was full of people, and then the next week I get a check in the mail, I'm like, what is going on? They're just giving me money. And my upline said, Bonita, do you know you're receiving an award? An award for what? For what? What am I receiving an award for? She
Hmm.
said, you never showed up. I said,
Hmm.
well, of course, testimonies. I want to help people. Well, he said, does the bus stop in front of your house? I just keep signing people up, right? Not knowing that I was going to be rewarded for that financially, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And then people, okay, what I see in this, any kind of business like this, which is a multi-level marketing company, people get all pumped up about it.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm going to make all this money. Honey, honey, honey. When you chase money,
Hmm. That's right.
it will
Yep.
elude you. You
Yep.
are not going
Like
anywhere.
looking for a relationship. The
Yeah,
more you want it, the more
exactly.
you look for it, the more it's not going to come. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's how it started, and it's because I am incredibly enthusiastic, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
It's just my nature. It's the way I am.
Hmm.
So that's how it started to grow. And then I said, well, I guess if I'm receiving an award, I better take this seriously.
Hmm.
I better start really understanding this business.
Uh-huh.
But is this company's now global? And this
Hmm.
is what I talk about the power of intention. And Gary was very clear on all of this. And it's just continued to be a family run business.
Hmm.
Mary is a dynamo, the boys are. It's still, and it's a global company. You don't want to take a look at this,
Yeah.
you know? And if
Hmm.
you're all about the money, honey, it would be there for you, but you better have a lot of tenacity because
Right.
people are very leery of anything that's different.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
natural. Well, because you have, let's face it, you put all this money into what is that? Your what do you call that?
The auto ship.
No, 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 no. When you have all these medical plans, the plans,
Oh, yeah, the like a health fund or I'm trying to think.
all these extra
Yeah.
plans that you have, and you put this
Right.
way back in the day, and this is true. I asked Spirit when I was like, okay, push comes to shove, am I going to put money into something I'm not spiritually connected to? Because I
Right.
don't feel connected to the medical. I'm sorry, I just don't.
Hmm. Hmm.
I've been down that road many times. I wouldn't be here if I
Right.
listened. So I'm like, okay, so do I put the money there or do I put it into what I love?
Hmm.
By
Hmm.
the end of the day, I got a very clear answer.
Hmm.
So I didn't do any of the medical. I just kept putting it into all acupuncture, massage therapy, uh,
Uh-huh.
energy work, chiropractic, all the things I love. That's
Yes.
what kept me healthy.
Yes. That's preventive medicine. It's
Prevent.
not going to the doctor when you're sick.
Yeah,
It's doing everything you can to not get sick.
correct. Yeah.
Which is so important. But all of the things that you just talked about are perfect, excuse me, for our last segment where we usually talk about business tips for people with conscious businesses. And you are the epitome of someone who has been able to turn your lifestyle, your passion, and your joy into a business that where you're able to pay the bills. And I think that you're a perfect example of that. And I do love what you're saying about multi-level marketing because people sometimes are leery of it. And all companies are different. Some of them are harder than others, I think, but I feel like Young Living truly rewards you, just like you said, that they do notice you, and then but having a great upline is super important.
Yeah.
Having somebody that understands the business but also understands the oils as well as they do, I
Correct.
think is really important. But I know that Young Living does provide a lot of reference material for people. And then do they still do trips like you went on?
Oh yes, they have all kinds of trips. As you go up the ranks, you
Uh-huh.
receive, different trips. Again, that's lovely, that's nice, but that's still not my main focus. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? I'm not the
Hmm.
person that's going to bang on your door.
Right.
You have to come to me.
Right.
Banging
Right.
on
So
your door.
you're a teacher, you're a healer, you're a speaker, and you're just a wealth of information. So that's how you've been able to, and now being with you in the different locations that you are too, you're able to reach more people as well.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
I have to tell you though, to be honest with you, this has been difficult being in Virginia. It's very medical, medical, medical. I'm
Uh,
now finding my way in to the
mm-hmm.
holistic community. And I
Mm-hmm.
would say only in the last year. I've been here
Mm-hmm.
5 years now.
Okay.
I'm like, where are those people? Where are
Really?
those people? So slowly I'm finding that niche, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's been a different process, put it that way. It's been a very different process.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting in central New York too, because things are so seasonal there. So really people are just kind of starting to come out into their yards and everything in like late March, early April. And then it's still quite cold until even June.
May or
Eh,
June,
What's
right?
that?
Or until May or June.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then things really become much more bountiful and everything through the autumn, and then people are trying to make the most of, being able to be outside and everything until it snows, which this year was quite early. But Richmond, they do you do have winters there, correct?
We had snow 2 weeks ago. I couldn't believe how much snow we had. Everything was
Wow.
closed down. The
Wow.
weather's changing, let's face it, is changing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
And
know,
I think that's cyclical too. I think that that's kind of to be expected.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah. But that's interesting. So Richmond, how far are you from Virginia Beach or a military base, or is there one in Richmond?
About an hour and a half.
Okay, okay.
About an hour and a half.
That's interesting that they're so medical oriented there.
Oh yeah, very much so. But Virginia Beach is a whole different. That's where the Casey Institute is.
We just did a show there in September and it was fantastic. I love Virginia Beach. Yeah, and the work that they're doing there is amazing. And then you were at our Spirit Fest in Syracuse. We did a couple up there as well. So I would love to have you at another as well. So I know you'll be probably in New York in when is our show? It's in July in Virginia Beach next year.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you'd love to come to Florida, I have to say it's 81 degrees and sunny today. So
Door open. I have the door open here too. It is
oh,
beautiful.
good,
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. And we love Florida. And that's why we like to be able to do this. And that's why we enjoy this platform with the show too, is that we can reach so many more people with what we do,
Yeah.
because there really is a great community, of people that are wanting to meet others of like mind. So that's really great. So what are your plans for 2026? We're finishing up a 9 year in numerology. Next year, 2026 is a one, which is all about creation and starting new things. So what are you birthing next year?
Well, I'll be honest with you. This puppy has brought me so much joy, and it's but also is testing me on many levels,
Hmm.
as far as my patience, as far as learning, to do more for me as far as physical. I'm not like the jogger or the marathon runner. I love doing yoga and chanting, but
Hmm.
getting out there and really hustling. So it's taking me down this other path. And now, where am I hanging out? The dog park, the meeting people. I can't tell you how many people I'm meeting at the dog park, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So I'm like, as I know, Spirit has a very great sense of humor. I am finding the holistic vets, oh, the
Oh, nice.
holistic people that how to feed a dog properly.
Hmm.
I'm finding a whole different venue of people to talk to, right?
Right.
And
Great.
about, so people ask me, so what do you do? Well, what does that mean? What does that
Hmm.
entail? Because
Hmm.
I'm slowly finding that, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But the truth of the matter is, I'm enjoying this dog so much. And there's a friend, dear friend, just said, don't you see what's happened to you?
Hmm.
I said, what? She said, your heart's open again.
Aw, that's
And I
beautiful.
said, was it closed? She said, yeah. Yeah.
Really?
After
Hmm.
my other dog passed away, I was a mess.
Oh, yeah, that is hard.
Yeah.
Well, and they hold energy for us. So they really do give as much as and with my dog, he reminds me if I'm sitting at my desk too long, he'll come in and, oh, he'll say, it's time you need to get up. You need to go for a walk. And so that's a very powerful job that he has, kind of keeping me in line. And like you said, they kind of run the house anyway.
And again, it's about paying attention to when my family here, because they're 10 minutes away, having
Mhm.
my granddaughter show up with the
Mhm.
forbidden boyfriend yesterday. That was
Ooh.
cool, right? My
Uh-huh.
son, Mom, let me have a day with our little girl. Can I have a day? Well, believe me, by 4 o'clock, Mom, I'm bringing her home. I'm exhausted, right? And now my daughter-in-law. So I see her making her way by bringing
Mhm.
us all closer together.
Mhm.
And what I'm seeing for 2026 is more openness to what spirit really has in store for me by going down this path. And just
Wow.
being open, just being open.
Right. Right. Which
Yeah,
is beautiful.
yeah,
And I know for some people it's harder when you've got a family or kids, you've got a spouse, you've got commitments, and maybe they're not on the same level that you are as far as opening yourself up spiritually or to spirit.
right.
And I know that's harder, but just trusting that it will all come together too. And that's why we're being role models, I think, for the people and holding that higher vibration where you are happy all the time and you don't complain and or just being that role model.
Yesterday, you wouldn't know it was the same person because twice this, well, not once, twice. I have a Berkey water filter.
Uh-huh.
I left the spigot open, so I had walked out to water everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is your problem? And I realized I hadn't had a massage in a long time.
Uh-huh.
I signed myself up immediately. And that is what, oh, I said, thank you, thank you. And you
Yeah.
had hands-on healing, which was flat.
Yeah. The toxins build up, they do. And the lymph and the adrenal, they need,
But
and
yeah,
you are in it, everybody's energy too. And that does take a toll on you, I think, to a certain degree.
right.
We as healers learn to not carry it, but you care, and it's hard not to.
You
So I'm
do.
glad that you did
Natural.
that.
Natural. You
Yeah.
don't know people.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But it's funny, I have a Berkey too, which is the best water filter that exists. But I think there's a bit of a love-hate relationship.
I can
Once you've overflowed it by filling it too full. But I had mine too close to the sink. So it's got 3 feet. I've got a stand for it.
Yeah, I do.
And I had just filled it full. So the base was full and I just filled it exactly the right level so that the tank would be really full. And I moved over to the kitchen table and I was eating my dinner. And all of a sudden, I heard the loudest sound I have ever heard. And one of the feet was just too close to the sink and it went in, but it projected across the whole kitchen. And I thank God none of the pets were there because it would really have hurt somebody. But there was water everywhere, it was dented. And so I used something else for a short period of time, but the quality is just not there. So I've got a little dent in mine to show, this it's a little war scar.
Well,
But
this
I got new filters. So
little reminder, I think I had it all together, but keeping tabs on her and keeping where she is. She's got to go out. You have to sit. You got to wait. All this training. Like great in the morning. This is great, but don't talk to me past 5 o'clock.
mhm.
Everybody knows. Don't even bother calling her. She's not going to answer.
Well,
So
that's good.
I
Again,
go down.
boundaries.
Yeah, I go
Yeah,
down. It's like no, put on Netflix, whatever.
yeah.
And now I can't believe I'm watching. My granddaughter said, "Yeah, yeah. Don't you know about Blue Dog? You might know
Mhm.
about Blue Dog. This is Blue Dog. Disney has
Yeah, I don't know.
it's a show for dogs.
Oh,
It's fully
okay.
coded.
Okay.
So they put it on TV on yesterday. I don't know what they said. I don't watch TV. I said, you've got to be kidding me. A show for dogs? She doesn't like it. She likes other
Uh-huh.
shows.
Uh-huh.
I find this fascinating because they're teaching me too, the younger
Right.
generation. I love it.
Right.
I love this technology. I
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah. That's great. That's
I
great.
really
And again, sleep is very underrated as well.
agree.
We're just about at the end of our show, though, and I have loved this conversation so much. Thank you so much for all of your wisdom and all of your information and tips. So, Bonita Shear, you're on Facebook and Instagram. BonitaIam.com is your website. You can learn more how to contact Bonita. And we're on the sanctuarynetwork.com. Spirit Fest USA is our metaphysical holistic crystal expos, and then the natural wellness expos. That's naturalwellnessexpo.com, starts in June this year, and we've got 4. So those are really kind of picking up speed too. So we're anxious to see what great practitioners that we attract to those as well. So thank you everybody for listening. If you're listening live, Merry Christmas. If you're listening in repeat, happy holidays to everyone, and thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for spending this time with me here on the Sanctuary Network. Tune in every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Transformation Network as we gather to share stories, wisdom, and practices that remind us of something essential. Sanctuary isn't just a place you go, it's a space you create in your heart, your home, and your daily life. I hope today's conversation sparked something in you, a sense of belonging, a new idea, or simply a reminder that you are not alone on this journey. If this touched you, please share it with someone who could use a little light. Together, we can grow this circle of sanctuary and inspire a ripple of healing around the world. And don't forget, the journey continues at spiritfestusa.com, thesanctuarynetwork.com, and naturalwellnessexpo.com. And of course, every week right here on Transformation Network. Until next time, may you be well, may you be inspired, and may you live fully in sanctuary.